Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a special edition of this Friday evening show that we're doing. It is the Sideline Junkies NBA trade deadline special. And what makes this special is this is in place of the normal show where you hear me start off talking about the people at work and the things they do. And then they say this thing where they talk about the Thursday night throwdown. But tonight is muted. It's not the same because we got nothing but net in its place. And it's because we decide. Why go to ESPN when you got the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network? Why go over there? We got our version of Shams. You got me too. We got the big guy KG jumping in. So it's nothing but net brought to you by the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. And with that being said, before we can even get started, this show you're watching is available now on Facebook Live. It's available now on YouTube. It's available now on, looks like it's on X. All right. Now, when we're done tomorrow morning, 24 hours later, actually shorter than that, at 10 a.m., if you decide you want the audio version of this, go ahead over to your favorite podcast place. It could be Podbean, Podcast. It could be Spotify, Apple Music. And guess what you're going to find? Nothing but net NBA trade deadline special.
Yeah.
Right, now, what's with me and who's with me again? That's C. Perry II. That's the big guy, KG. I'm the Midnight Rider. I'm going to turn this over to C. Perry to get it started. And we're going to go from there.
Yeah. Before we get started and dive into the trade deadline, we definitely have to acknowledge some news that occurred in print media that I know, that Midnight Rider and KG definitely want to flex on, and that is the Washington Post eliminated their sports department. So they've started, they've started layoffs with scaling back on their sports departments. It's unfortunately, it's been a thing and a huge thing in print media. How, a lot of newspapers that are now corporately owned, have been scaling back as we transition away from print media and getting our news, sports, or otherwise, from the digital space. Now, with the two of you being based in DC, tell the folks how y'all feel about the Washington Post scaling back on their sports division, scaling back, hell, eliminating.
Go ahead, KG.
First of all, good evening, everybody. I'll say it's a dark day in DC. This right here truly breaks my heart as a sports fan, as a DC, Maryland native, whatever you want to call it. It breaks my heart because I remember the days you spent a quarter for the Washington Post, and you went and you went through that sports page to see Wilbon, Kornheiser, Mark Maskey, at one point in time, Shirley Povich. And to say after all this time it's no more, and all the good people that were there are gone now, are being laid off. I'm truly hurt. It feels like I lost a member of the family. And the Washington Post was on its last legs with a lot of people because of the online thing. You can't, what articles used to be free, you got to pay for now. This is just, it's terrible, man. We don't have anything. DC doesn't have anything it used to have. Somebody brought up a really good point on X. If it wasn't for the Washington Post sports department, Daniel Snyder would still be the owner of the Washington Redskins football team Commanders.
That's deep.
But they broke the story. I'm hurt. That's all I got to say is I'm hurt.
I'm gonna take it a step different to start off. There are, I think they said they have 4 reporters that were working in like Kiev with no power, no running water, doing stories, and they just got an email like saying their department's gone, and that's it. You imagine living in those type of conditions and being inside of a war zone, and then your boss, all he does is send you an email? That's crazy. Now to the Washington Post Sports. It's an institution. It is something that I think every DC person, every male that's a sports fan, we all had the same routine. We may have done it a little bit different, but we did the same thing. On Sunday morning, when that paper came in the house, you grabbed the comics and the sports section. You put the comics to the side because you had to get your sports first. You sat down, and whatever your breakfast was, if my dad went up to the church to get the paper, sometimes he'd grab me a donut. I'd have my glazed donut, my milk, my newspaper spread open. I'm reading all the stuff in the columns, whether it's Wilbon, Kornheiser, Lock and Four. I mean, first and foremost, a lot of the media that is in media right now walk those halls of the Washington Post. A lot of your influential people. You don't have Pardon the Interruption without the Washington Post.
True.
You don't have Jason Lockenforia's show on 105.7 in Baltimore without the Washington Post. You don't have what's her name? The redhead that's the basketball young lady. Oh, what is her name? I see her face. They had the rumor that she was with Jimmy Butler in the bubble. You know what I'm talking about. Rachel
Nichols. Yeah.
Rachel Nichols. You don't get her without the halls of the Washington Post. You don't get some of these premium people in premium places. You don't get David Aldridge without the Washington Post. And I think people got to understand, when you have something that influential, KG said it, they helped get Snyder situation squared away. We've had label lays, we've had the bandwagon, we've had critical stuff written in this area. They covered Georgetown when John Thompson was walking off course because of Prop 48. Like, they were trendsetters, and they blazed a trail in a search for justice. And the only problem was that the world that we live in today gave no justice to the people that prepared and made this sports world what it is. They say you stand on the shoulders of people before you, but unfortunately, you tore down the institution that produced those people's shoulders that we stand on. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's the changing face of media and even journalism itself as a whole. Print media, that's my foundation. That's my background, but also at the same time, print media, has been on its last legs, unfortunately, for the past 15 years. And a move like this from the Washington Post, unfortunately, was inevitable. I thought we were going to see, we were seeing something kind of similar with the New York Post. However, the New York Post right now, their sports section is pretty much being propped up by The Athletic, which is a great sports media site with great writing. Hopefully, the same thing. I was kind of hoping that the same thing would happen as it relates to the Washington Post, sports section. But unfortunately, it's a sign of the times.
So you can get a little bit of both. We got actually, You know what? We talked enough. Let's get the comments because I want to see if we got anything in there. Boss B says, "What's up, fellas? Cutting the cord has caught up everywhere. Going digital hurts a lot of entities." Oh, all right. And then he posted the stream. All right. So real quick, I think yesterday what also happened was we were there when the media hit the earth and made the dinosaurs extinct. Like we are the dinosaurs. The way we consume stuff is dying.
Yeah.
And we have to adapt to this new world. That's plain and simple. Yeah. And that's crazy, but hey, that's the cost of getting older and life. So for sure, man.
And it's the price of moving forward is what it is. Fortunately, don't want to, we love our institutions. That's just what this country is built on. It's built on its institutions, but also at the same time, this country is also built on its innovation. Okay. And that move and push forward. Respect it. Don't want to, really don't want to see it. However, we also got to move forward as well. And speaking of moving forward, yo, man, this has been a wild ass trade deadline, hasn't it?
It's been different.
And as you can see, 27 teams in the NBA were active movers, buyers, and sellers in this year's trade deadline. For those who had a chance to watch, last night's episode of Nothing But Net, which was which we were just on the eve of today's 3:00 trade deadline, and all of the, everything that we talked about, and that was just what happened within that 24-hour period. And then to follow it up with this 24-hour period. Yeah, it's been one for the ages, but not how you would expect it. Okay. Because guys, look, the first things first that we definitely need to discuss is not who got moved, but who didn't get moved. First off, first things first, Giannis, the Bucks have indicated to teams that they're keeping Giannis Antetokounmpo through the trade deadline and will start making other trades. And this dropped, this afternoon, just around 12 o'clock, 3 hours before the 3 o'clock deadline. Were you surprised that Giannis did not get moved, KJ?
Most definitely, I was surprised because all this talk of listening to you guys asking, has he played his last game in Milwaukee? But I thought that he had, and I'm sitting here crossing my fingers. I'm like, hey, this is about to be a Chicago thing. He's coming to Chicago. Like, we're gonna move stuff around. He's coming to Chicago. Yeah, no. I think this really messed up the Milwaukee Bucks because you wait till the last minute to say he's not available. Not where it's at, man. This is surprising, but Mickey Mouse organization do Mickey Mouse things.
Can I jump in on this, Ryder, first?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, man, totally disagree. Okay. I never felt he was going to get traded to the trade deadline. And the main reason why I never felt he was going to get traded to trade deadline is because it was a week ago that they said they were listening to offers. And the first thing that he said was they are willing to move him at the trade deadline or during the off season. I didn't pay attention to at the trade deadline. I paid attention to to the off season, because when you get to the off season, you have more to work with and better deals. If anything, they use this trade deadline to get a feeler or get a feel on how a Giannis deal would go, what they would be able to get for a Giannis. And when you look at the 4 teams that were reported as the 4 that were making the most serious deals, then I automatically knew that there was only going to be one team that was going to be able to get him at the trade deadline out of those 4 teams. That being the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if the Minnesota Timberwolves were not going to get it done, it wasn't going to happen. And I knew it wasn't going to happen when, actually, Ryder, can you help me out with this? When a certain deal happened last night.
Which deal?
Okay, think about the 4 teams that were in the final running. Okay, New York Knicks,
Right.
Miami Heat,
Uh-huh.
Minnesota Timberwolves, Golden State Warriors.
You gotta refresh me, dog. I'm sorry. I'm already on either day.
Oh God. Okay, not a problem, brother. I got you. Okay, so last night we got the news that the Golden State Warriors were moving Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. When I heard that, that's when I knew Golden State was out.
Right.
Golden State was out, right? Because they took one of their most attractive pieces that was going to go, that would have more than likely gone to the Bucks. They moved it out. So that already told me they're not in it right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna interrupt you for one quick second.
No, bro, go ahead and drive for a second. Go ahead and drive.
So when I watched this deadline, I felt like yesterday was like the first version of the movie. So they dropped the original yesterday. Today was the sequel. And they always say the sequel ain't as good as the original. And I think this trade deadline yesterday, we moved mountains, we moved stars, we moved big names. And today was kind of like cleanup day. Like we were like, all right, you know what? We a couple zeros, we a couple hundred over the cap here. I'll give this away for cash considerations. We saw a lot of that today. If you pay attention, a lot of guys got waived because the teams weren't going to keep that contract on their books. Today, what you got was the new version of the NBA trade deadline because of our favorite term, the second apron.
Yep.
And the first apron. And the salary floor.
Yep. Cap had a lot to do with every move that was made today. Well, there were 2 factors. One was the cap. The other factor we're going to go over and get into, especially as it relates to some of the deals that happened yesterday, and definitely some of the deals that happened today, right up to the trade deadline. I do have to ask before we delve deeper into the deals that occurred today. And look, and Ryder, forgive me about this. Forgive me, okay? But I got to take this to KG because I know KG. Gosh. Yeah, I know KG is a long time Chicago Bulls fan. How do you feel about the moves that your Chicago Bulls made?
Too little, too late. You let Dosunmu go, and I thought he was one of our young puppies that we was gonna groom and keep. This is too little, too late, man. I really don't. You hedge the future to get what back? I mean, we've been rebuilding geez, since you traded Jimmy Butler on draft day, we've been rebuilding. I'm tired of rebuilding. Like if I'm gonna get personal about it, I'm tired of rebuilding. I'm tired. I grew up being in the playoffs every year. I grew up being in contention for a championship almost every year, winning 6. I haven't sniffed the NBA Finals since 1998. This is not where it's at. You hedged the whole entire future for what? What? I mean, ooh, boy, you gotta laugh to keep from crying when you're a Bulls fan. Because I mean, it's a lot of crying that's gonna be done, but we won't sniff the playoffs, let alone sniff a championship. So it's done. These are not moves of a competent front office, but we haven't had a competent front office since John Paxson was running the show by himself. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of him, not at all.
I gotta admit, I did like the move to get Jaden Ivey. When I look at the Bulls, I'm looking at, I was a little bit surprised that Dosunmu got moved. Well, actually, let me take that back. A lot of teams were looking at Dosunmu. They were looking at him. And actually, maybe that was a trigger maybe that was another Giannis trigger when Dosunmu got moved to the Timberwolves, which I think is a great pickup for the Timberwolves. But you knew Kobe White was on his last legs there. You knew they were looking to move him. And Nikola. You know they were looking to move Nikola. They've been trying to get off Nikola for a minute. So I mean, I thought both of those were good moves for where they went. And I thought both of those were good moves for what Chicago got back in return. Chicago, to me right now, Chicago is about 3 players, and you hopefully build it out from there. Josh Giddey, Jaden Ivey, and the Russian kid's name that I will one day remember.
Budzilis.
Yeah. That's the future of Chicago. And now you also got to, and KG, you also got to look at it this way as well. Okay. Can I throw a positive your way?
Before you throw that positive, go back to that big 3. What was that big 3 again? Budzilis,
Giddey, Ivey.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Okay. Can I throw a positive your way, KG? I want you to hear me right now. Okay. Got up from under Zach LaVine, got up from under DeMar DeRozan, and now got up from under Vucevic. Oh,
it's okay. That happens.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. But and this is the other part of what the trade deadline is about. Positioning yourself for the future, whether it's the direct future next year, which definitely we'll be discussing with the other deals that have gone down, during this period, or going forward longer than next year.
So on a Chicago tip, I like Ivy. Of course, I'm a big Jaden Ivey guy.
Same here.
I like what you talked about with the big 3. I didn't like the road we took to get here. I always say this saying, they got that song, they say, tell me how to get to Sesame Street. Well, the problem is we made a left turn at the wrong spot and a right turn at the wrong spot, and we ended up having to circumnavigate our way to actually something good.
Sometimes, look, you see, sometimes you take that detour through Mr. Rogers' neighborhood,
Right.
it gets, it gets stuck at a corner, and it takes a minute.
And I think I felt like they came in with a plan, they operated the plan, and then maneuvering after that. The Kobe White, yes, you want to get out of that deal, I get it. You move Vucevic, what you've been trying to do. So I think I wouldn't call them a winner, and I wouldn't call them a loser. I'd say they ended up somewhere in like trade deadline purgatory where they were right in the middle.
Yeah, I'll say this, trying to set things right. To set things right. While at the same time, if you if you look at the NBA standings currently, okay, what is the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference? Who is the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference made for, and who always gets it, and who's in the 10th spot right now?
I'm gonna guess it's the Bulls.
It's the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, that's their complimentary spot.
It's almost sad, but I think this draft is deep enough. Go ahead, KG.
No, I just said ouch. That's all. That was like a gut. That was ouch. So we can't get no higher than 10. Like oh my God, we can't get no higher than 10. But then on top of that, we don't. Let me say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Every team that was bad when we were good has gotten themselves together and become championship contenders. The Knicks, the Bucks, even the Lakers won a championship after getting good. But as long as we have coaches like Billy Donovan, who I never wanted, I would prefer to have Scott Skiles back than Billy Donovan. But as long as we got a Billy Donovan and we don't have no true number one anymore, we're never going to do anything. We had DeMar DeRozan. You traded him to Sacramento. You traded Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine. I said, Zach LaVine's not going to fit in with Chicago. We needed Jimmy Butler. We need a killer. LaVine is not a killer. We always pick up somebody that does not work out. Lonzo Ball was good till the knee went. He was absolutely awesome till the knee went. But this is hard to watch, and you watching your rivals surpass you and do great things. This is a hard watch. I'm just gonna say that.
Like I said,
dang, it sound like he hung up on us.
Yeah, it almost, but he's still there. He's just,
I know he is, but how on the show it's like, thanks for taking my call. I'll take your comments off air. It sound like he hung up.
KG, stop, bro. You good, bro? You good? Okay, trust me. Trust me. It's gonna get better. It's good. It's definitely gonna get better. Yo, man, you want to jump on these comments real quick?
Well, I think you do, because your favorite person's in the comments. Your
What's
second
good? What's good, Ant? Okay, so to be honest, as a Heat fan, I'm kind of happy we didn't go after Giannis, because we were gonna have to give a bro. I totally agreed. Okay, the Heat were one of his choice locations. All right, and I'm sure they did offer a deal, but luckily for both, the deal wasn't taken, especially at this time of the game. But I will guarantee your guys are going to revisit this in the summer, and we'll see what happens from there. Let's see what else you got. What else you got from?
Hold on. Because you said something earlier. You said that the Bucks did the right thing by, I think they put him out there as a tease. When you go down the aisle in Sam's Club and that lady got them little things on the toothpick. This was their thing, just to get you a bite and make you feel tantalized by it, but not exactly make it happen. So
Exactly.
I like that comment you made because it makes sense. Because now you have a basis. It's kind of what the Ravens did a couple years ago with Lamar Jackson and letting him look for deals. It's like, all right, you can set the market, and then we'll figure out how we want to maneuver after that. And that's exactly what this looked like.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and and I agree with your view of that. Not wanting to overpay, and that's the risk that you always run when it comes to the trade deadline. The possibility of overpaying, for a star that you can either wait on when they are actually free agents or during the off season when you have more, to work with. All right, so look, let's move on from Giannis here real quick. Now, well, actually, not exactly, because after gotta throw this in after the Giannis, that we got the news that Giannis was staying. Then the Bucks made a deal to send Cole Anthony and Amir Coffey to the Suns for Nick Richards and Nigel Hayes Davis.
Who?
Exactly. Well, Nick Richards is a known commodity. There were a lot. There were always been a lot of teams sniffing around Nick Richards because he's a serviceable center. But does this do anything for the Bucks' bottom line? Actually, it does. Okay, it keeps them where they are at. As long as they could talk Giannis into sitting your freak butt down, shut it down for the rest of the season. Let us get positioned for this draft, which is what they need to do. Get positioned for the draft, period.
That's right.
All right. Yep.
But I don't want to kick dirt on the guy that's down about his Bulls, but there was a person that told me that Cole Anthony was going to be a difference maker in this league, and I told him I ain't see it.
Who said that?
I ain't see it. So there's a guy, he's on the show. Actually, he might be on the show right now with us.
Maybe. Wow.
Yeah. Argue me down about it. Cole Anthony. KG. Any thoughts?
Cole Anthony never got the shot to do what he needed to do. Yes, I was big on Cole Anthony. I thought he would fit better in New York. Come on now, he's the son of Greg Anthony. He would have fit great in New York coming off the bench, but he had his spurts, but it just didn't work out yet. It's not over.
What was Michael Jordan's son's name when he worked out as a Bull?
Oh, Jimmy Butler.
Exactly. Nah.
I just and I don't mean to make it sound bad, but for me, when I saw Cole Anthony at Carolina, I didn't see a special athlete. I didn't see a trait that stood out. I saw a good ball player.
Yeah.
But I just didn't see a guy, Chris Collinsworth style. Now here's a guy that I just didn't see that thing to take him to the next level. So that's the only reason I just didn't think he had big NBA career movement. I always said he'd probably be a 7, 8, 9 guy.
Serviceable pro. That's how I've looked at Cole Anthony since his Carolina days. He's always a serviceable pro. He's going to be on a team for the next 10 to 12 years because he's a professional. Okay, he's a professional. He comes from a professional family, and he knows how to act as a professional. Okay,
right.
But nah, never, ever saw him as a difference maker. Never.
That's exactly what y'all doing. I didn't come here to get beat up.
Never. Look, bro, we not beating you up. No. Okay,
No.
yeah.
The old adage is when you have a parent that played sports and they were good, it's always the next one always goes above and beyond. They're a little bit better than their parent, but Cole Anthony's not even going to reach his dad's status, who was more than a serviceable point guard. I mean, I would trust Greg Anthony to run my offense any night in the 90s. You know, I put him in the top 15 in the league of point guards at one point in time.
Now, as a Knicks fan, you had to make your choice. You know, did you want him or did you want Charlie running things? A lot of us lean more on Charlie. Sorry. A lot of us lean more on Charlie. Okay. Charlie was better, Charlie Ward was a better point guard at the NBA level than Greg Anthony was. But Greg Anthony was a serviceable cat off the bench. Once again, a consummate pro. Now, this deal came in an hour before the trade deadline ended. And this one did catch me off guard, especially on the heels of the James Harden, Darius Garland trade. And that's Zubac getting traded to the Indiana Pacers for a deal that's centered around Ben Mathurin. They got Ben Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, and 2 first-round draft picks. Okay, I'll start with Ryder here, man. What are your thoughts on this deal? First from the Indiana Pacers side.
I'm not sure. I don't get the Mathurin move. It may be a thing where Mathurin, he's so up and down. I think maybe he wore out his welcome. Like, this doesn't feel like I'll use one of my other favorite terms. This feels like addition by subtraction. I feel like they may have been tired of some of his act or whatever. And I'm not an insider. I don't know this, but I just operate off of feel. Because I think Mathurin is one of those guys that if he ever got it right, he could be a 20-plus scorer a night. He's shown us in stretches where he can play basketball at a high level. And it just but it's no consistency at all. It's about as consistent as, well, never mind, I'm not going to say that. But it's not consistent at all. And that's his problem. I think one night he'll look like a superstar. The next night, he looks like the guy that should be catching Coach DMPs. So, but Zubac is a key to me because I think he still represents a post player. He can get you some buckets if you give him the ball in space, but he's going to clear the boards for you. Mm-hmm. And Zubac is one of Jerry West's last moments of thievery because he stole him from the Lakers. He should have never left the Lakers.
Exactly.
To be honest with you. Zubac should be patrolling our middle right now. And guess what they're looking for? Somebody to patrol the middle. But you had him and gave him away because Jerry West whispered in your ear. And being the devil that he is, when you thought the devil didn't exist, he popped up and showed himself. So that's how I see that one. KJ?
I love the Jerry West reference, of course, because, you know, that's my guy. And when it came down to trade deadline deals, he could sweet talk you. He could sell a Eskimo igloo. We talked about Zubac last night or night before last. On Tuesday, we were talking about Zubac, and Jack was saying he thought he was going to wind up with the Celtics instead of Vucevic. But I said, nah. And, you know, Midnight Rider said Zubac is not going to be able to do what Vucevic can do. But, I mean, is it really going to help the Clippers? What is his contract situation?
He had an excellent contract. I mean, he had one of the most attractive contracts in the league for what he gives you.
So it's not expiring or anything?
Nope.
Okay, so they got him long term. All right, this is not a rental. This may work out pretty well. You won't see it this season. You'll see your return on investment next season. I guarantee that.
And that's the whole key to this deal. Okay. This deal was about next season and the return of Tyrese Halliburton. Because right now, think about it, guys. Right now, they lost Halliburton and they lost Miles Turner. They had a pretty much, you got a clear middle and one of the, if not the worst record in the Eastern Conference. So now you add a more than serviceable center on a great contract, return of Halliburton, and hopefully a top pick in this upcoming loaded NBA draft.
Loaded.
Yeah, this was a excellent move from a team that I despise to my entire core, which is the Indiana Pacers. This was an excellent move for them. I think the Mathurin portion going out to the Clippers is going to work. All right. The best part, even though the best part of this whole deal for the Clippers are those 2 first-round draft picks, because one thing that the Clippers have been playing, one thing that's hurt the Clippers since the Kawhi Leonard era in Clipperdom started was giving up all of those damn first-round draft picks and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yep.
So the Clippers, as good as they have been in spots, have been playing patchwork for years. So this now at least gives them, with what they have done, this at least gives them an opportunity to try to replenish what they have with some good young players if they stay healthy.
Could all right. I had a thought pop in my head as you were saying this.
All right.
Could Mathurin be a poor man's Norman Powell? Same kind of production, same kind of score. Like, he's not a consistent scorer, but now that Powell's in Miami, he's a better scorer and a player now.
He's a freaking all-star.
Right. But when he was in the Clipland, he was still trying to find his way.
Yeah.
And maybe this is their way of replacing something like that. A person that's trying to find their way, and maybe they have learned something. I doubt it very seriously because they extended Lawrence Frank, but that's another conversation for another day.
That's a whole damn show.
But yeah.
Yeah. But that's a whole damn show. But we ain't ever going to waste a whole damn show talking about Lawrence Frank unless he gets fired. And if he gets fired, we can give him 30 minutes. Give him 30 minutes just for the roasting. All right.
Might have to break out the samba for that.
Okay, so the Lakers traded Gabe Vincent and a 2032 again, second round draft pick to the Atlanta Hawks for Luke Kennard. I actually like this deal for the Lakers. What say you, Midnight Rider?
Well, being the resident Lakers fan, I like it because I think the point of Dalton Connect was to be our shooter and our spacer. And because he hasn't been able to do it and he struggled with a shot and struggled to find a role because he hasn't been able to hit a shot, I think this is perfect. I think Luka the other night against the Wizards, when he came out with his first half triple-double, he showed you he can get people involved. He can make the offense run. He can make everything else happen. But outside of that, this isn't a moment for, this isn't a bad deal at all. And Gabe Vincent actually struggled when he got there. And I will admit I was wrong. I went on my pedestal after watching him with Miami. I used to call him Baby Derek Fisher. And for some reason, he didn't become Baby Derek Fisher. He struggled to score. His shot was off. He was just never right in LA. And I think this was one of those moves also that happened, like, again, my turn. Addition by subtraction. I think he just never fit in. He could never find his footing. And so we ended up having to move him and get everything else, in place. So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and the injury bug that Gabe Vincent had from the very beginning
Yep.
didn't help at all, at all. Oh, bro, hold on. Let me see what Ann got to say here. What you saying, Ann? Okay, fine. And realize Saint Vincent wasn't as great as they were hyping him up to be. But when they okay, and follow me. Yeah, but follow me on this, okay? Don't greatest thing since Derek Fisher sound like an oxymoron to you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think I just said he reminded me of a Derek Fisher. I didn't say it was the greatest thing since Derek Fisher. Oh, and if you are a movie person, Saint Vincent is a great movie. It's a small production. It's got Bill Murray in it. He's like this old retired guy, and the girl from, of course, movies now are the Molly girl. What about Molly, the star of that? She plays the mom, and she has a son, and it's a great story, dog. So all I'm saying, if you want to watch a movie, watch Saint Vincent. I'll say it that way, keep it concise, and boom, let's keep the party going.
Yeah, and I gotta say this. I gotta get this off my chest, okay? Greatest thing since Derek Fisher, me and Matt Barnes might differ on that. And we'll leave it at that. All right. Okay, moving on. Now I saw it. I woke up this morning and saw that this happened late at night, that the Knicks are trading Garshawn Yabusele to the Chicago Bulls for Dalen Terry. So, as a resident Knicks fan, my first thought was, who the hell is Dalen Terry? That was my first thought.
Right.
Got some information on him, and I was like, okay, he might work as a decent rotational player if we need them. And then I heard that they got off of Yabusele. However, there's another move that's coming down, so you might want to look out for that. And then the next thing you know, a move that as a Knicks fan, I've been dying to hear this entire trade deadline. And that is that the New Orleans Pelicans trading point guard Jose Alvarado, Brooklyn's own Jose Alvarado, to the New York Knicks for one Dalen Terry and second round draft picks. Great move by the New York Knicks. They got a dog. They got a dog at point guard. Defense, first thing foremost with him. Okay. Someone that's going to hold folks accountable. Someone that is going to give someone along with Tyler Kolek that's going to give Jalen Brunson, that rest that he needs. And let me tell you about the genius of Knicks general manager and president of operations, Leon Rose. One of the main reasons why this deal was made was because guard Miles McBride, who is having a career year, has to have a sports hernia surgery, which is going to put him out until the playoffs.
Mm.
And that news, you know when that news dropped? That
Last
news dropped. No, that news dropped after it was announced that the Knicks had acquired Jose Alvarado. So in this instance, the team that you're trading with isn't trying to get more out of you because there's a need and they're going to try to pimp you. That didn't happen. And also, I got to thank the Chicago Bulls. I really do. Let me explain why. Because with all the moves that they have made, it left them short big men. So in our attempt over the past leading up to the trade deadline to trade Garshon Yabusele, he went to a team that needs help at the 4 and the 5, that being the Chicago Bulls. So I never thought I'd say thank you, Chicago, but thank you, Chicago, because that freed up the player, the spot, and the money that made trading Terry for trading Alvarado possible. Thoughts?
I love Alvarado. Alvarado is probably one of the guys that, you know, I will always watch because the way he plays defense, the way he's like a Brooklyn version of Avery Bradley. He's going to dog you up and down the court. He's going to guard you, pillar the post. He does the little thing where he hides and steals the ball from you. He does all that stuff. And you know, there's one thing that I love and appreciate, and I know it's a dying breed in the NBA, is I love that defense first, pass first, get everybody involved, point guard. You know, those are my guys. You know, and there's some of them that can score, but a lot of the guys that I like are, you know, defense first, pass first guys. So this I think fits the place. Because he takes the ball off of Brunson, but you can play them both at the same time. You may not do it, you're not gonna live in that because they're so short, but you can still operate a 2-minute, 3-minute stretch. You know what I'm saying? Until that TV timeout comes up and you get the hard-nosed defense and you get Brunson off the basketball for a break. Or Brunson can sit on the sideline and you wait till that, like, when that free throw happens and that TV timeout is coming up, you steal those minutes. It's the Phil Jackson. I'm telling you, when you know that TV timeout's coming up, and I used to see Phil do it all the time. He's still an extra couple of minutes for a guy because there'd be free throws, and then you throw it up. Oh man, it's perfect. And then the next thing you know, the second that ball goes down the court, you see that dude running down to the table because they coming in after that TV timeout in the first dead ball possession. It was a beautiful thing. It's one of the great things that Phil Jackson ever provided basketball. And yeah, on my levels of coaching, I stole that. We didn't have TV timeouts, but you'd have free throws. So I still a break during free throws and then send the kid right up to the thing and get them back in the ball game and work it that way, man. Go ahead, KG.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. When I saw it come across, I feel like Perry felt when he didn't think he'd ever be thanking the Bulls. And I feel like this is a good move for the Knicks because you got a defensive point guard. And I love what you said, Midnight Rider, about, you know, those defense first point guards that want to distribute. I mean, even though you got such a hatred for the Spurs, I know if he played for any other team, which he did, you would love Avery Johnson.
No, I would never love Avery Johnson because he played for the Spurs.
If he didn't play for the Spurs,
I can't get the thought of him playing for the Spurs out of my head, so it doesn't happen.
But having
how long have we been doing this?
I know, and I'm always gonna bring up something like that.
There's any Spurs player automatically doesn't like. I don't like him. Don't care. You ask me greatest power forward, I'll give you KG over Tim Duncan in the day because I hate the Spurs.
Even if you hate the Spurs, you skip over Never mind. this is reminiscent of, and I'm a
And
nostalgic.
the only thing you got left, hold on. Only thing you got left for your bingo card is to play the Eddie Jones thing. So you doing good so far.
Nope, because I'm not even gonna play that because we skipped over that when we were talking about Gabe Vincent and you started talking about addition but subtraction. I was getting ready to go there and I was like, I'm not even going there with you, not tonight. So this is one of those God combos, like, and Perry, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your Charlie Ward, Chris Childs, because you got somebody that's a dog on defense,
Yeah.
and it's tough. Chris Childs will throw a bow, throw a fist. He was that tight. Now you got that, and I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually happy to see the Knicks do it because the Knicks have been my championship pick the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, yes.
So I am happy to see this because I need the prophecy to come true. At least on one side, I've been picking the Browns for the last 5 years, and they've been letting me down. So damn it, come on, Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's hard not to like this. And yeah, I see Ant's questions. I got to get to these. Okay. So, okay, you seem like a rational Knicks fan. I have to deal with these delusional ones that think they're better than the Lakers and the Bulls of the 90s. Yeah. Look, we had great teams in the 90s, but let's be for real. However, I will always say this, the Bulls' greatest rivalry during the Michael Jordan era were the Knicks, and it's no question nobody else. Not even those 2 runs against the Utah Jazz. No, the blood hatred between these 2 teams was real from 1990 to 1995, and then of course that blood hatred, we shifted from the Bulls to your Miami Heat. Okay. So who is the voice of your childhood as a Knick? Marv Albert. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. And it's funny, I was having a discussion with a Knick fan today, and it's wild that when we unfortunately had to get rid of Marv Albert, we replaced him with another Hall of Famer by the name of Mike Breen. So, Nick's voice, I'll say, that's Marv Albert to me will still be the quintessential Nick's voice, but Mike Breen is him as well. So, all right.
Hold on. Before you go, KG, pin this thought. This is probably a Tuesday night show question, not a nothing but nut or voices of your childhood. But you gotta give me your top 5, and we can give them any sport.
Oh,
shit! Okay.
Yo, I want to come on for that one.
Any sport. 5 voices of your childhood.
Because the first one just popped up in my mind, and yeah, KG, the voice I am talking about is a professional, is from the world of professional wrestling. So
let's do that. All right, and then. Here's the other one. I got to get these thoughts out right now real quick. For Sunday, I want you, they can't, depending on the age of the person on the show, we got to name a Seahawk or a Patriot. You got to give 3 of each from 2010 and before.
All right.
All right, sorry, man. My brain's been working all day.
Yeah, but look, I always say when it comes up, get it out so we can write it down, so we can flex on that in the future. All right, yeah. Winners and losers. So, I guess first things first. What teams or teams were the biggest winners of the trade deadline?
Can I go losers?
Huh?
Can I go losers first?
If look, if you like, because I already know who my first winner was going to be.
All right, let's save your winner because my loser.
Go ahead.
I have 2 of them that I feel like they missed the boat this week. And that's the Milwaukee Bucks and the Memphis Grizzlies. But I think the Grizzlies were self-sabotage because Ja and his behavior makes him hard to move. And I think they tried to do the test bubble, but they just found out that was a lead balloon and that's gonna fall to the earth. So this offseason, I don't think they're gonna end up with almost a Trae Young deal where you trade him for 2 pieces and you get no draft capital. And I don't know if they're ready to accept that reality. So that's why I think they're a loser. I think Milwaukee's a loser because they didn't add anything substantial to those around him. When I say him, I'm talking about Giannis. If you keep him, you gotta throw something else out there. We can't keep trotting out Bobby Portis and company. I'm sorry. You gotta at least add take a risk. Take on somebody with cash considerations. Do something. Actually, I know who my winner is now. So go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all talk about your losers real quick.
Okay. All right. So we'll flip it. KG, who you got down for losers?
I gotta agree with Milwaukee as a loser. This may not sit right with the panel here, but I think the Lakers were a loser too because I don't give a damn what the King said. I would have moved him and got something that got from under. Even though you're 30-19, great. I would have moved him and got something back. I mean, he doesn't want to be there. We don't see any relationship past this season. Let's go ahead and cut ties now. Let's not drag this out. I believe Marvin Gaye said it best. It's too late for you. It's too late for me. It's too late to say goodbye. It's too late to cry. I mean, let it go. Let's go. That's my loser.
Who is that? Is that? Are you quoting Usher now with "Let It Go" or "Let It Burn"? I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, we went songs on this.
Yeah.
No.
No. What's my girl from the movie with the snow joint?
That was Elsa.
Yeah, Elsa.
Let it go.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, my losers. Okay. First off, KG, I can see why you would put the Lakers in that just because I would see why you would put the Lakers in that. If I were to put the Lakers in it was just because they didn't do enough. I did, like I said, I disagree with the only reason why I disagree with Milwaukee is because I knew what it was. All right, I know what it was, which was, like I said, see what's out there before you make a real deal in the offseason. All right. And I definitely disagree with your Memphis. And the reason why I disagree with your Memphis is because of what they got back for Jaren Jackson Jr. Once again, this team now has 13 number 1 draft picks in the next 7 years. They are on that Oklahoma City Thunder build program. The only thing they got to do now, is get Ja out the way, which is gonna come. But like I said, it's about tearing it down. And no, I'm not talking about them catching OKC. It's about how they are doing it. OKC did it because they were able to get enough draft picks so that they can make right moves. That's the right way to do it, okay? Oklahoma City Thunder fan, look, totally blah, 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 understandable, okay? But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they are mirroring what the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing, which is the right thing to do. If you get draft picks, you stash, you make right draft pick moves, and then you're dealing with a good team that you don't have to pay until it's time to really pay them. My biggest losers, the Houston Rockets, because they were not able to do anything to take care of the point guard or lead guard position. That's going to be the main thing that is going to hurt them come playoff time. 2, the Golden State Warriors, Kristaps Porzingis. Do I have to say anything else after that? Really, do I?
That's your loser or your winner?
That's my loser. Those are my two losers. Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors.
I think he fits better. You get an enigma again, addition by subtraction. You get the enigma that is Kuminga out of the building. You add Porzingis, who can help stretch the floor, and I mean,
He gonna be able to stretch the floor in 5 games, and they don't have Jimmy Butler.
I got
Okay,
you.
think
I
about
got
it. We talked about this early in the season. When we talked about this early in the season. The problem with this team is that you win now, but you're old.
Yeah.
But you're old. Okay. So Porzingis to me, doesn't help. Sorry. They got him like 3-4 years too late.
Damian has a good one. I think they are winners.
As winner, the Hawks have been the winners on this since they dealt Trae Young.
Right. There you go.
Now let's get to our winners. All right. And I'm wondering if all of us share one of the same winner.
Well, KG, go first.
Yeah, you go first, KG.
I'm gonna say winner, and this is again, you won't know your ROI, your return on investment. You won't know it until next season. But as of right now, as it stands, I think the Knicks and the Wizards are your winners right now. The Wizards flipped a contract that I had been calling for a long time, which is Bradley Beal, turned that into Chris Paul. Then you get Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum, and you turn that into players and picks, and you're getting younger. Okay, you willing and dealing. I was only thing with the Wizards, I was surprised that he let Chris Middleton go because he wanted to be here. He wanted to be here as a veteran leader, so it was surprising that he was a part of one of the deals to get out of here. But you bring in AD, you got to get what you can get from AD, so you need to upgrade your medical staff. I don't know if you got to buy VC or whatever you got to do to upgrade your medical staff for AD, but make sure he's healthy. And the party might get jumping again in DC. As far as the Knicks go, you didn't disturb your team to get help, to get depth. The Knicks are going to run roughshod over the East this second half of the season after the All-Star break. Blue Magic guarantee, sprinkle it all on there. I guarantee they'll run roughshod. Midnight Rider.
I got a little sick in my mouth because of what I'm about to say. But I think a move to get their type, and it's the Boston Celtics getting
Their type. Go ahead. Sorry.
and that's I think that's a winner to me because they didn't give up anything, got what they like. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Thursday night and the midnight rider picking up a thick red bone. You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing in life. When you can get that, you got everything. Second, I have the Knicks, I have the Wiz, and because it was brought up, I actually like Damon Pearson, gentleman from the Knowledgeable Sports Fans podcast. I like that move too. I like what the Hawks have done because they've made themselves pliable because they knew that Trae wasn't going to fit.
Yeah.
And in the words of the late Johnny Cochran, if the glove don't fit, then you must have quit. Simple. And then for the Wizards, adding those two pieces, I've heard talks of them trying to extend, and I don't even get mad about them if they do extend them because now we're talking salary floor money. We're not talking their potential. And that's where people got to start realizing some things. Like this floor and this cap is going to create strange bedfellows. So at some point and I think in this trade deadline, when you saw a lot of these deals, cash considerations and things of that nature. That was just the beer goggles, and it was 2 a.m. and you had to leave. You was like Denzel, I'm leaving here with something. So that's what this was.
Okay, so I'll make it 3 for 3. Washington Wizards. Washington Wizards. And KG, Midnight Rider and I have been talking about this for what, Ryder, like 2 years?
Yep.
That the Wizards finally have a front office that's doing it right. Think about it. They got Trae Young for CJ McCollum's contract and Corey Kispert.
Straight up.
Straight up. No draft capital, no draft picks, right? They got AD with a bunch of vets coming with them. Let's not forget, D'Angelo Russell was a part of that deal. Dante Exum was a part of that deal. For Middleton, a couple of pieces, a couple of rounds, second round draft pick. Did not lose any of their major draft capital and did not lose any of the young core that they have.
I'm gonna say
That-
this.
Well-
There's an outside person. I don't know how people feel about him. I kind of liked him, but I thought he got replaced. So AJ Johnson was involved in this deal, and AJ Johnson has some potential. But I think with the drafting of Will Riley, it was almost a 1-for-1. So AJ Johnson became available because you saw what you could get from Will Riley, and I think it's the Watkins kid from Florida State. Like, they offer you options on the bench that you don't have or wouldn't have, and you can be very good on the defensive end with this team. If you come out with Koulibaly, Sarr, and Davis, as long as he's healthy, and I hope Davis doesn't. I think Davis' finger got worse. Like, when he came over in the trade, I think something happened. I think he reached for the doorknob and it got jammed, and it's worse now. So I don't think he's gonna play the rest of the season.
No. Here's the whole thing.
That contusion that Witchcard got, it's contusioning. So I don't think Trae Young's going to play because that contusion's got worse.
You're not going to see either one of these hit the court until next year, and that's what's so perfect about this. Okay, you now have on paper, you have a competitive team in the Eastern Conference. Okay, plus you have your number one draft pick that, as long as it doesn't fall below 8th, they keep.
Yep.
Okay. So this was definitely those two moves were great moves for next year.
Yep.
Another winner, and it stings me to even say this, and I brought them up earlier, are the Indiana Pacers for next year. Because the move to get Zubac, I help once again, a healthy Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and the draft pick that will hopefully be a high, hopefully for them will be a high draft pick, and they are once again back in the game. So those are my two winners. I will give some honorable mention, believe it or not, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, just because they rebuilt their backcourt from the starting backcourt with adding James Harden at point guard to the backup backcourt. By trading Deontay Hunter and getting back Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. So I'll give them honorable mention for now.
Keon Ellis could be an interesting piece in that move.
Yes.
And then Schroeder again gives you another point guard that can get you in the place and get things set up. And that helps with, because I think there are going to be spaces when they're going to not stack, but they'll have Harden on the bench and Mitchell will be out there with Schroeder, because that way Schroeder doesn't need the ball and you can take some time off of that. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Damn, look, totally agree. Okay. The Wiz got to extend Trey. All right. Because right now you are dealing with this prime, and correct as well. He has not been injury prone. He needed to, let's be honest, he needed to change the scenery because, that team outgrew him. That team outgrew him, simply put.
Yeah, and then he said DeAndre Hunter. I think that's another good move. They are putting together something.
What you mean getting rid of DeAndre Hunter? Yeah.
I mean, hold up. We talking about Cleveland, we talking about Atlanta.
Cleveland. No, with Cleveland. Remember, DeAndre Hunter is out. DeAndre Hunter is out is out in the wall right now in Sacktown.
That's right. My bad. I'm sorry. I mixed up the names. My bad. But no, I'm with you. I think this has been a productive, but I think what we got to get ready for and prepare ourselves for is this offseason. There's gonna be some moves made that aren't going to make sense in our minds as basketball fans, but in the ledger that is accounting, the credits and debits are going to make all the sense in the world, because we've entered into a new world and a new paradigm.
Yeah, the future of the game is not free agency. Okay,
right.
It's not free agency. It is transactions. Because of how the salary cap is set up with that first apron and with that, with that second apron, getting under that second apron is way too important.
Right. KG, you've been quiet, man. What's going on? You good?
Oh, I'm listening. Because I'm taking it all in right now. It's just like I'm thinking about as a whole. Who do I really see coming out on top? I mean, Cleveland's not in a bad position. I'm thinking about that Harden trade really hard, and I don't want to call the dude a cancer, but it's just like everything he touches kind of goes from gold to shit sometimes.
It got nothing to do with what he touches. It has everything to do with getting paid. That's all. Think about it. Every move has been based on extension.
Yep.
Every move since he left, since he touched down in Brooklyn, has been about extension.
That's crazy. Yep.
Yeah,
because he's been traded like every 2 years or 3 years.
Every 2 years.
Oh, let's not forget how he forced his way out of Houston with the fat suit.
Yeah,
hey.
But he never comes close to that level that you would need to get over the hump. And I always said that once the rule change came in, if you notice, he's not as, I don't want to say dominant. I think dominant is a word like legend that's thrown around entirely too much. But he's not as effective once that rule change came in where he can't really bait you into the fouls. And I always said, even before the rule change, you know how to shut down James Harden? Don't let him walk you to a sweet spot. And then he's just a regular run-of-the-mill point guard after that because you don't let him walk you to a sweet spot. That's it. But I think Cleveland might have messed up getting him. Now, Cleveland was a 60-win team last year. They're not winning 60 this year, of course. But be prepared for Cleveland to tumble a little bit. I don't want to put no guarantees on it, but just watch it. Just be prepared for the tumble, in my opinion. I just think James Harden is not the guy that they should have went after.
I think that's the guy they could get.
Yep.
Because you're moving Darius Garland, who's injury prone. Again, like we said last night, he's on shoe number 2 to protect his foot and his foot injuries. So it kind of became a thing of, I got to take your crap and you got to take my crap. So that's kind of how that ends up. Hey, Prey, we're not going to talk about Triangle because we're doing a
keep going.
Hear me out, Prey. We go.
Keep going.
And then the Pat comment. Let's hit the Pat comment real quick because we can work around that one.
Well, I got to jump, fellas. Let me jump.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Great being in here. So I will catch up with you fellas offline, but thank you.
Hey, before you go,
yeah,
you got to promote something. Happens on Saturday nights.
Well, of course. I mean, Saturday morning first. You got to get to Saturday morning first. Don't forget, you got the greatest fictitious sports league in the world, Craig, in the world, which is the Gridiron. With that man, that's that man right there. 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays, the Gridiron, talking about our college football 26 league. And then Saturday night, you got the mothership, the flagship, the guinea pig of the network, the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs at 9 p.m. We should be back in our regular time slot because we don't have any PLEs. So make sure you are rested up and ready for us on Saturday.
And then, are you doing anything crazy on Sunday morning?
Well, I mean, shoot. I mean, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We're supposed to get crazy. I got to get in line at about 11 o'clock to order my pizza. But while I'm ordering my pizza at 11 o'clock, I'll be sitting with quite possibly everybody on the network for the Sunday Rise Super Bowl. Let's call it a Super Bowl bonanza, extravaganza, if you will. Mm-hmm. We just going to sit in there. We're going to talk Super Bowl at 11 a.m. and get ready for the game, man. And that What You Eating segment going to be off the chain. I know it is. So you got us again on Saturday, 2 shows on Saturday, 1 show on Sunday, getting you ready for the game, man.
All right. Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Place where we bring you entertainment every day of the week but Friday. And don't worry, that might change too. So, hey, if you got the moxie, we got the time.
Exactly.
All right, gents. Y'all have a good rest of the show.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, KG.
All right, let's start wrapping this thing up because we're right around the getting close to that 1:30 mark.
Yeah. So, let me get this one curse from Ant. I'm sick and tired of the win now mentally for Pat. He needs to change and start focusing on trying to build for the future. He's given up on. Maybe it's time for Pat to train the replacement properly.
Or maybe it's time for Spoelstra to do the reverse of Popovich. Instead of going from the front office to the sideline, go from the sideline to the front office.
Pull a Brad Stevens.
Yeah. That could be the move.
I mean, to me, it would really be the proper next step for Spoles. Who knows the organization better than Pat Riley or just as good as Pat Riley than Eric Spoelstra. So
Exactly. For sure.
Man, this has been one wild trade deadline, yo.
We welcome to the new NBA, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get trades for stars. We're gonna get trades for money.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna get trades where in our minds it doesn't make sense, but you gotta maneuver pieces to make some things work.
Exactly. Where when you see a trade, you gotta think 3 steps ahead
Right.
to see why it was made and what comes next, you know?
Totally agree, man. Hey, man, I couldn't do this and do the show without you and you being willing. So first and foremost, I want to take this time to give you flowers because I called you on a Sunday or Monday night and said, "Hey, let's just do a show." But it's gonna start on Wednesday. And you was like, "All right,
Hey,
it's like, we're gonna talk NBA. It's gonna be 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but let's just make it happen. Let's do it."
Yeah,
And-
you got, and ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, you know, Sideline Junkies Podcast Network for the past 2.5 years, the two of us, C. Perry II and the Midnight Rider, have been the NBA
right.
lean on go-to experts because we love the association. So the minute you said let's do a show, like, you know, let's do an NBA show, you look, you had me at NB. You had me at NB. No, say less, bro. Let's do it. And so, you know, so we definitely want to thank you for, you know, for joining us on Nothing But Net and the Nothing But Net trade deadline recap special. And I want to thank you definitely want to thank the viewers that are joining, the new viewers that are joining us on X. Our normal program timing, we are on Wednesdays from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go around the association in 30 minutes. So for those that are new to Nothing But Net and new to us, and look, definitely come back on Wednesday. Okay, you come back on Thursday. It's an entirely different show, but stick around for that show as well. Guess what? That show is nice as well. This Thursday, you know, the Thursday night show here is nice. Every show on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network is nice, and we got things for you. And coming up in the spring, we got more things for you. So, you know, yeah. So make sure you like, you're liking us on our social media platforms, that you're, you know, subscribing to us, on our viewing platforms. You know, for those that like, the like audio podcast, make sure you're subscribing to the network on all of your favorite audio podcast platforms. Bro, it's the Sideline Junkies Network, man. We there. All right, we there, and we want you to join us there. So with that being said,
one thing you got to say, man. Get us out of here.
Look, man, that's the Midnight Rider. I'm C. Perry II. Like I said, make sure you come back on Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and join us for Nothing But Net. And on that note, fall back, baby. Swish.